Trying something different. I've got a little short line run to this end-fed half wave, so that's a 49-to-1. It does not have a place for a ground lug, so I'm using the shield and just an alligator clamp and running this out that way. And I'm purposefully feeding it with a really short line right to here. And then I've got this going to this tree over here. So what I've got over here, and I'm trying to focus on as temporary a setup as I can, is this. So I've got one of those little $4 ground stakes from Harbor Freight that screw into the ground that is connected here to this pulley. And then I've just got a loop of paracord that's run to that pulley up there with that end of my antenna on that end of the thing. So you've got a pulley, then a pulley, and what I can do is just basically I took one piece of paracord and I threw up in the tree with a rock, brought it down, tied the pulley to it, went back up the tree, and then took that end and tied it to this stake. So that's holding my pulley up there and keeping tension there. Then I've just got a quick piece of tape here to keep it from going up or down. I will eventually come up with some kind of a 3D printed thing that will just sort of hold these together quick and easy. But the idea is I want to be able to trim my line. So I've got just temporarily, actually I'll tell you what, I'll do this. Let me see if I can take this off and then show you what I'm doing. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so you can see that it dropped down. And if I wanted to trim my line, I've got it taped up here and then just taped here to kind of hold it in place, so I could come over here and cut some off until I get to where I want to go. But when I want to deploy it, I just pull this line. Sorry, hard to do this. And it picks it up for me. So see, now I've got plenty of tension over there, and that's just the tail end of that. And then once I get it where I want it, take these two pieces and put them together. I'm sorry, I'm doing this with one hand, so bear with me. Okay, and just hold those two pieces together, and I can easily slide it back up. So that gives me, I guess, sort of a sloper type antenna. And now what I've got is coax going to my dipole here into this connector, and then a short run of RG58 to there. And then this, because this is so short, a 49-to-1 counterpoise, or 49-to-1 end-fed half wave, you typically need your counterpoise to be your coax. So this is the other end. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but usually you need about 15 to 20 feet from what I understand. So that's where I've done this. I actually cut the speaker wire, and I was trying to cut it for 40 meters, but I ended up cutting it for a 40-meter dipole. So what I've done is, since it's two strands, I'll pull both of them out, cut them to length, and then pull them together, and they're exactly cut the same way. And then I've run my counterpoise over there. This would be like a 20-meter length for an antenna, but it just happened to be something I had. And then I've got the other end of my 40-meter here, so that was the other strand like that. And what I've done is I've got this that I can extend out for an 80-meter if I want to, but what I need to do is somehow make something. I don't like the way this is coming off of here, so I'm going to put a little loop in here where I'll have like a strain relief, basically, because right now it's just that crimp is what's holding it, and I actually jerked the first one out. So, but the idea is, if I can find a tree from my camper, and, you know, I'll probably find a better way to mount this higher So maybe this would go up here somewhere, or maybe put some kind of a mount where one of these end feds can mount there. I've been chasing electrical issues, so all this stuff's tore all to pieces. But if I'm plugged into it,
I would have to balance out
what I'm finding. So here's one conversation, and you can see the waterfall. If I unplug my antenna and plug into my dipole, it does seem like it's a little bit louder on the dipole. Just a hair. But not by much. If it is, it's not very perceptible. So, seems to work really well. What I'm trying to find is my quickest, fastest way to get some kind of a something going. And the end fed seems like a better option than the dipole for that. I've also gone and bought one of these from Harbor Freight. It used to have a stick that went in here, and what I'm doing is making a fixture where I'm going to glue this to that, and I've got to 3D print some more pieces for it, but essentially it's going to be a wire measuring thing. So I'll have another roller. Let me turn this off. I'll have another roller down here where I can take my wire, pull it through, and then this will actually count, you know, how many feet my wire is. So I've still got a little bit of work to do, but I'm going to try to do that. They're $10 and seems like an easier way to measure wire. But so far, that seems to work pretty well. And what I like about this, let me get out of here, is it really doesn't take a whole heck of a lot. So you can see the difference in the line that I've got here. Run all the way up there, and then I've got to deploy that. I've got to run one to there, and then I've got to run one to there. So now it takes two trees. Oh, shoot. It fell. That didn't work. I think my tape messed up. You can see the nice thing about that. Yeah, tape come undone. I would have done a little bit better job, but you can see where as I pull up on that, sorry, I'm getting more and more taut over there. And then all it takes, and like I said, I'm going to make some kind of a 3D printed thing that will do a better job than this. But right now I'm just using electrical tape to hold everything up. That was just kind of a quick and dirty, threw some paracord up with a rock and used it to kind of put all this together. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but somewhere up there's a knot somewhere. I don't know where it's at. But either way, it's just paracord and two cheap pulleys that I got off of Amazon. And anyway, but I like this. The end fed seems like, for invis especially, you know, this is going to give you your ground plane, I believe, is what that's for your invis type stuff. So, and I think if I were to pick this up higher, it might work a little better. This would be 40 meter, and if I wanted to add 80 meter to it, it would essentially be linking this wire and finding a tree that was further away. So, you know, for here, just go deeper into the woods and find me a tree and set myself up out there. So, one of the things that I'm going to try is, you know, this just happened to be the closest tree that I had that seemed to work. But one of the things I'm going to try is adding a coil. So like if, you know, say that's your wire and you're coming out to this end, you would hook into a coil of wire that's 20 or 30 turns wrapped around, and then you go on through to your 80 meter. But instead of having to have a 40 meter piece, you could add a third of that with the coil and get your 75 meter signal out, hopefully. So I'm going to hold on to this and use this as a quick and easy counterpoise for any of my end-fed half waves, just because you can just take it and clamp right to there. But I might actually add a lug for a wire for a counterpoise as well, because I do like the fact of being able to use this. I am going to put a ferrule, or what do you call those things, like a choke right here. So basically your antenna comes in here, it's choked at this point down, and then this is your, it would sort of force this to be your counterpoise. So anyway, worked out pretty good. I did have a issue with this thing. I've got these little connectors here that I was using to sort of feed all my batteries and stuff. And I was charging this battery, and then I've got an extra battery in there, but then somehow I ended up with 2 volts on this side and 12 volts on that side, and it just, there was some kind of corrosion in there. So it took me a little bit to chase that down, but finally figured out what it was. So my SWR, let me turn this guy down. So obviously it's picking up really well. But if I go here, let me turn my power down. I'm not 100% sure if you're supposed to do this or not, but if I do this, you can see my SWR all across the 7 meter or whatever band. I don't know why it jacks up really high right here, but you can see at 7.1. Let's see, I'm at 1 kilohertz. There we go. Check that out. I don't know why it's so bad here, but let me go back to 1 kilohertz. All right, so if you look at this, it's 2.5 to 1 at somewhere in here, but for the most part, it looks like a pretty decent SWR all the way across 40 meter, which is actually better than the other one I've got. Now, if you notice, this was really loud before, and I'm not sure how this works out, but let's tune it again. But it's almost like, there it goes. See, now it's better.
KK6 Bravo Sierra, hi, it's Joe. I wanted to let you know your transmitter is ailing, man. We're way up.
Either way, just something I've been fiddling with. I'm trying to find a quicker to deploy. Turn this guy off. And get out of here. The idea is faster, easier. So the next one I'm going to try is this, and I'm trying copper wire right now. And once I see how that does, I'm going to try the stainless steel wire and see how it does. So that'll be the next thing I try. So, but these are those pulleys that I got for, I mean, they're like $1 a piece or something. So for quick deployments like that, I kind of like that. So anyway, that's what I've got so far. So just a speaker wire. I think I paid like $20 for this off of Amazon, and I bought the speaker wire bulk, so this seems to work pretty good. Anyway, you guys have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.